Health Minister says no medicine shortage.
We are okay.
Prime Minister clears air on project signing.
In regards to issues like tax rate.
And confusion for parents as selections outnumber spaces.
It's the rights of children for...
This is National MTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for Tuesday's news. Parliament resumed this afternoon for 2019 and during question without notice, Health Minister Serpuka Temu wanted to clear the air about medicine shortage in the country. Serpuka even bringing out the numbers on the floor of Parliament to prove there is a surplus of medicine, with the issue being the process medical supplies are procured from clinics. Adelaide Sirix-Kari with the details.
Parliament resumed for 2019 and the member for Ijivitari, Richard Masere, in his question without notice to the Health Minister, sought clarification if there was still a medicine shortage in the country, as he himself had been unable to be treated in his district when down with malaria.
Follow-up question to the question I raised in the last Parliament sit-in regarding the availability of medical drugs in the country.
Health Minister Serpuka Temu, armed with a spreadsheet with numbers to go along with his response, said that he had ensured there is a surplus of medication, even specifying specific drugs.
As of 20th of January, there are 11,740,000 chloramphenicol in all the area medical stores. 11 million. For 8 months supply, we normally require 18 months supply. We normally require 11,147,966 individual chloramphenicol items. That means that we have enough in stock. We have ordered another 3,975,000. So when I say that such important items are in stock, it means that somewhere in the system, the health facilities are not ordering on time. The CEO of the hospitals are not ordering in time. Because what I have is all the area medical store record as of 20th of January 2019.
In 2018, the medicine shortage was brought to the public's attention by MTV News Lay team. It uncovered clinics in lay and rural clinics in Morobe facing chronic shortages of medication. The health minister today is still pointing the finger to the ordering process of medications by clinics.
I'm defending the fact that the health system is not in crisis. The government has provided sufficient funding. That is why I'm able to stand before you, this Honourable House, and before my colleague leaders, that in terms of the volume of items, we are okay. When we are told that the facilities, like especially hospitals, because they have a lot of fast-moving items, they run out very quickly. We have an emergency supply system. We then procure on emergency basis to make sure that the specific items that are not there are supplied in time.
As 2019 begins, the question now is whether the health minister's numbers will be reflected in clinics through their supply of drugs to patients in cities, towns, but more importantly, in the most rural areas of Papua New Guinea. Adelaide Sirix-Kari, National MTV News.
A woman who cannot receive radiotherapy treatment for cancer says many patients are suffering because there is no radiotherapy treatment available for them. 66-year-old Agnes Wandau completed her chemotherapy treatment and is yet to undergo radiotherapy. Her daughter also died of cancer in 2018.
Agnes Wandau was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2017. She had completed a chemotherapy treatment and is yet to undergo a radiotherapy.
I was on chemotherapy for 6 months. Every 3 weeks I go for another chemo up until I completed the chemo. And because we do not have the radiotherapy, they just send me home with some tablets, 300 tablets to take. So every day I had to take these 300 tablets until I complete the whole tablet. And for myself, I haven't gone through therapy yet, radiotherapy.
Wando's daughter, Amanda, was also diagnosed with breast cancer, but lost her battle to cancer in June 2018. Agnes says her daughter was also advised that she couldn't undergo radiotherapy treatment because the only machine Engel has was not working.
But because there's no radiotherapy, she died.
The treatment of cancer includes surgery depending on the cancer stage, chemotherapy and radiotherapy. In order for the facility at Lace Engel Hospital to operate as a national treatment unit, it needs to provide all treatment of cancer. But for more than 2 years, the cancer facility has not been providing radiotherapy treatment to its patients. The only treatment machine is not working and needs to be replaced. But the machine that uses the radioactive cobalt cannot be replaced without proper laws in place. And until the PNG government passed legislation, cancer patients would have no choice but to seek treatment overseas. Martha Louise, National MTV News.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill says the recent signing for the Wafi Gold Project has been misunderstood by stakeholders. PM O'Neill said government will not leave out landowners in any deals for the project. He maintained that investors have been tasked to accommodate demands and government guidelines.
The MOUs are basically an understanding that we have reached with those developers so that we give them the state's position in terms of the physical position of the state in regards to issues like tax rate, our equity participation in the projects, and what is the expectation of the state of the benefits that we are expecting for not only the state but our landowners and the provincial governments and other stakeholders in these two projects.
A chief in the Hengambu clan, Anoga Yakising, says he does not agree with the actions of the Hengambu Landowners Association in pulling down the banner at the Wafi project gate 2 weeks ago. The banner was put up to stop the company from working because of grievances raised over the recent MOU signing between the company and the state. Mr. Yakising said the gate should remain shut until their demands are met.
Support mo line lo South Talim mining inaplo developer prime minister almost come down, mining minister almost come down. Lo level bumi lo province na salim sra MOU na meeting demand bumi Papa Gran and bumi one bell.
You're watching Tuesday's news. We'll have more of the day's other stories after these messages. Stay tuned.
Are you looking for something to chew?
Yes, I am. But it's more difficult to find something to chew.
Not to chew something.
Me no kai boy, me kai PK plus.
Technology is constantly evolving, creating opportunities to grow and connect globally. Telecom PNG provides you with the best innovative and flexible solutions. Our wide-ranging product portfolio includes
fixed line business system, fixed broadband internet service, Metro Fiber network, VSAT service.
You can trust us to take care of your business solution needs.
Telecom PNG, always there.
In our harsh and vibrant landscape, Dulux Weather Shield is the perfect choice to protect your building against everything Mother Nature throws at it. Worth doing, worth Dulux.
I love the way you taste.
I love the easy meal.
I love family dinner time.
I love my true guy.
I love the quality.
I love the yummy smell.
I love the energy and strength.
I love my true kind. So many reasons, all of us agreeing to put on your t-shirts and let's all sing.
I love my true kind.
I love my true kind. Let's sing it again. I love my true kind. I love my true kind. I love my true kind. The Angie's rice, the very best rice. Let's give your love a true kind.
Women's Will is a program which advocates strongly for women here within Papua New Guinea.
Welcome back. With the countdown to a proposed motion and vote of no confidence against the government, the police commissioner has called on political leaders to respect the functions of the constabulary. Speaking in Port Moresby today, Commissioner Gary Baki said police would carry out their duties without fear, favour or influence and would not facilitate interests of political leaders.
Making reference to a vote of no confidence that happened in 2016, the police commissioner today appealed to both the government and opposition members to let the vote of no confidence take place only on the floor of Parliament.
Experiences have shown that we've gone through this thick and thin in 2016 when the constabulary was really and truly fragmented in the way we're doing our work. And there was a lot of challenge given to us, particularly from the hierarchy of the constabulary and as with regards to our National Fraud and Anti-Corruption Directorate. And I do not want to see the same thing happening this time. And so my appeal is to our political leaders to ensure that whatever they have in terms of the issue on the vote of no confidence, take it to the floor of Parliament.
A proposed vote of no confidence is expected to take place in early February, with the opposition's announcement that a motion will be put forward to the office of the Speaker against Prime Minister Peter O'Neill. Last week, members of the opposition met and claimed 8 MPs from government ranks would join them in what they described as a move to remove Peter O'Neill as the Prime Minister.
8 members of government side only come inside this meeting. Now, this plan and big plan number Thomas.
But the PNC-led government and its coalition parties say they remain intact, whilst at the same time calling for the opposition to wait until the national general elections in 2022. Members of government who were also in Eastern Islands last Thursday said they will not be moved by the proposed vote of no confidence.
Your country is on the move. On the move. You can judge me in 2022. Now can I have to talk to man Pawangri around about. That's la walk by me member of walking the floor of Parliament, so you stop busy.
While the war of words between both sides continue, the police commissioner says police must not be used for political interests during this time. Thakla Gunga, National MTV News.
The police task force team set up to investigate allegations against police officers has made 133 arrests to date. From the 133, 42 arrests made were on police officers serving in Port Moresby. Tekla Gunga reports.
The establishment of the Policing the Police Task Force team was one measure taken to deal with public complaints against serving police officers. From the 44 arrests so far, 1 officer was dismissed from the constabulary, while the other 43 are now in court. Police Commissioner Gary Baki says the aim is to restore public confidence in police and ensure officers are disciplined when they step out of line.
So we need to have a check and balance, and the check and balance is basically we need to look at our own conduct internally so that we will be able to deal with it. Of course, we have the internal affairs division within the organization that is also responsible. But I would like to see that the policing the task force team is an entity that must be responsible, and as a result, getting the support from our internal affairs so that we can deal with the conduct of our men and women.
Through the work undertaken by the task force team, 2 senior officers from the Hohola police station were arrested for sexual-related offences. 76 of the 168 cartons of cigarettes were retrieved following a hold-up and the arrest of a police officer accused of wife-bashing. While some comments were circulated on social media defiling the creation of this unit, the police commissioner says it was set up because of the seriousness of the allegations reported against police officers.
It should not be seen as a unit that's being set up specifically targeting policemen. It's not set up for that purpose. It is set up to investigate allegations that have been leveled against men and women. That involves members of the constabulary, simply because of the fact that there is no quicker response and time turning around as to the complaint being laid against a member of the police, and that actions have not been undertaken for a long while, and no results have been undertaken.
The establishment of this task force is only in Port Moresby, but there are plans to extend to other provinces. Thekla Gunga, National MTV News.
Retired Broncos forward and former captain Sam Thaiday, who was in Eastern Highlands Province for a rugby tournament, has caused uproar on social media. The retired Broncos forward tweet of being attached to Mayor Resources, an Australian coal company, had his followers question his intentions and why rugby league is being used to push for a coal mine and power station. It has now stirred a debate on PNG's stand for climate change actions and if the country is aligned with the rest of the Pacific region on the issue.
Australia, the source of PNG's love for rugby league, and also the source for a push for a coal mine and power station by Mayowa Resources. Put them together and it's a powerful public relations tool, especially when you have the much-loved Darren Lockyer and Sam Thaiday from the even more loved Brisbane Broncos team. Thaiday was in Goroka to launch the EHP Super 8 Cup, but his tweet on Twitter thanking Mayowa Resources has got PNG rugby fans and NGOs asking the former forward to leave rugby out of the push for a coal mine and a power station.
Coal, like it is all over the world, is becoming more expensive and less popular, and there's a very good reason why many other countries have stopped using coal.
Climate Change Action Organization says coal is the single biggest contributor, and the burning of coal is responsible for 46% of carbon dioxide emissions worldwide. It's the reason why Fiji Prime Minister asked the Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison during his recent visit to Fiji to take climate change seriously as Australia leads the world in the coal industry. Kristen Lobega from Nogat Coal says he believes the PNG government is serious about climate change and the move to coal may be in the interest of only a few in the government.
We don't think the PNG government is pushing coal. The PNG government's made it very clear that it participates in the Paris Agreement and it has a strategy to completely decarbonise the PNG energy sector by 2030. Now that's the official PNG government position. There may be individuals who are in the government who have their own views, but when they say those views, even if they're the Minister for Energy, they're not reflecting what the PNG government actual policy is.
The Minister for Energy, Sam Butts, is saying the mining of coal will provide revenue for the economy and a coal power station, a cheaper option for electricity.
We have two big neighbours with strong economies that are sitting on the north and the south, which is Australia and Indonesia. They are building more coal power plants. Australia has more 70% of coal power plant, and yet we as a small country haven't started one coal power plant yet. NGOs are telling us not to venture into power plants, coal power. Now, I believe that our power price should come down to 50 toea per kilowatt power. At the moment, it's between 74 and 1 kina.
But NGOs say it's the cheaper energy, all at the cost of climate change effects and health issues associated with coal. Adelaide Siraks Kari, National, MTV News.
Australian High Commissioner to Papua New Guinea Bruce Davis visited 3 proposed hospital sites over the weekend. His visit to see first-hand progress of hospitals co-funded by the Australian government. He visited the New Enga Provincial Hospital on Saturday and Tambul and Kotna District Hospitals on Sunday.
The final leg of Australian High Commissioner Bruce Davis' journey will end in Goroka this week. His visit is to assess the progress of work that has been done on the hospitals. Apart from Wabek Hospital, the 3 district hospitals in Western Highlands Province, which are funded at a cost of 16 million kina by the Australian government, are Tambul, Kotna and Tinsley hospitals.
We want to partner, we want to find ways that we can work closely with you and to work within projects and activities that have a strong sense of your own ownership and forward plans to make sure that not only is the project done, but it's well sustained and well maintained.
Tambul Nebilia MP Win Bakri Daki committed 2 million kina from the District Services Improvement Program funds to build the district hospital. Groundwork has already begun at Tambul. However, it has been on hold since last year due to funding constraints. More priority will be given to complete building the hospital since it does not have a nearby hospital to cater for the 96,000 population. Situated at a higher altitude, a lot of deaths in Tambul are from curable diseases such as pneumonia.
We have no hospital here. I'm really sorry for my people, and I keep still giving 2 million to contribute. Whoever comes with me to build this, to save my people, I have 2 million with me right now.
High Commissioner Davis also visited the site where the equipment is stored in Mount Hagen. 6 containers are in Mount Hagen and more containers will arrive next month for work to begin. Kotna District Hospital in Day Electorate will also benefit more than 20,000 people. Day MP Wesley Nukuns also pledged his support to complete the district hospital and urged his people to appreciate such gestures.
Every district must have a hospital, and the government is actually funding it. You people are lucky because some of us were in some of the government's bigger plans like the Vision 2050.
A health grant focus program will be created by the Australian High Commission to support the health program in PNG as well as help further develop the country. Vastinata Yama, National, MTV News, Mount Hagen.
Motorists travelling the Magi Highway were left stranded after a river burst its banks, causing a threat to the public. Located near Tupusera village, this river has been causing the same problem over many years. Locals say efforts to fix this part of the road have always been unsuccessful.
The heavy rain in the nation's capital and the central province last night saw drains and waterways overflowing onto the main roads. While some were enjoying the blessings of the rain, others were being affected by flash flood. This river along the Magi Highway burst its banks, posing a threat to people wanting to travelling into Port Moresby. Crossing this portion of the road was difficult as drivers could not see oncoming vehicles. A tractor was used to tow lightweight vehicles that could not cross.
This Sebore, the bridge has been an ongoing thing where the national government comes and repairs the culverts. But when the water comes, it just comes without, it comes naturally. And it's beyond human control. So we are, the people living around here, requesting for the national government to look into this matter.
Heau Naime, an officer from the Kairuku Iri District Administration, was stationed in that area to monitor and collect data from people affected by the floods. She said flooding in this area has also affected food gardens and people's lives, as well as people traveling on this stretch of the road. She called on relevant authorities to help the people affected by the flood.
The floods have been destroying their gardens since this disaster, or according to the weather patterns. This section has been stricken for so many times. So our call is on our central provincial administration and the governor to look into this matter seriously, because the people have been affected.
Naime said the Central Provincial Administration would be delivering food rations and seedlings to the affected people of Central Province once all data had been collected. Rayon Lakingu, National MTV News.
A secondary school in Port Moresby was forced to turn away 152 of its grade 9 students due to lack of space to accommodate them. Parents of students turned away have rallied together to postpone classes for grade 9s until this issue has been sorted.
Parents stand up this morning at the leading church-run secondary school in Port Moresby to inquire on the children's enrollment after being told that the children have no space. A parent whose child has not been allocated a space has not blamed the school, instead to the NCD Education Division.
The Education Department selected students more than the required spaces in the existing school, so that is our dilemma. So the board, we came to meet with the board and the school senior management to discuss the issue. So from our meeting, we parents will be petitioning the school not to enroll or start the grade 9 classes until the NCD Education Board deals with this issue, because NCD Education Board brought upon that issue by giving more students than the required number. So we would like the Assistant Secretary, Mr. Sam Laura, and his staff to be answerable to us parents, because it's the rights of children for basic education, and by doing that they've denied them. It's not the school's fault.
The Catholic Education Agency, in a letter sent to the parents of the students that were not selected, said the NCD Division of Education did not consult with the Board of Governors of the secondary school before the selection of the 152 extra students. According to the agency, the NCD Division of Education did not plan where the school would find extra facilities, materials, and teachers for the extra students. The parents have rallied together and plan to postpone classes for grade 9 students until the affected students are sorted out.
National Education Board, the NCD, grade 9 classes will not start even for those parents whose names of kids are on the first 200. No, there will be a blanket ban temporary on grade 9s until NCD sorts out this issue.
MTV News also understands that other schools in NCD are facing similar selection dilemma of extra students. Tamara Pia Agavi, National MTV News.
Hela Hewate Multi-Skills TVET School in Hela Province is reopening for registration this year. The TVET school was closed since February 2018 when Hela and Southern Highlands provinces were hit hard by the 7.5 magnitude earthquake. The natural disaster has caused massive damage to properties and hundreds were buried underground. School principal David Angobe urged his students to return to the school this year.
Only must come back to school and by start the 2019 academic year. So me like him already by come back now by me starting program.
Minister for Communication, Information and Energy, Sam Bassel, officially announced the appointment of John Avira as Secretary of the Department yesterday. Acting Secretary Florel Shongol has pledged to work alongside Secretary Avira as he settles into his new role.
Having a background in telecommunications and energy for rural electrification over a decade, John Avira is now the new Secretary of Communication Technology and Energy, who's filling in the position that was vacant for 4 months. Minister Sam Basil says Mr. Avira is no stranger to energy and communication, as he has personally worked with him on a number of government projects in the past.
John Avira, I've got experience with him for the last 10 years, 12 years. When he was with Telecom, John Avira was the implementing manager to oversee all the satellite VSAT system that has been and towers that has been put in the rural areas, and my district benefited a lot from that. Not only that, when John Avira moved to PNG Power, he was responsible for rural electrification, and he was in charge of implementing ECPay meters and MSK minimum supply kits to the rural homes. So for my drive in this energy and information sector, I believe that there's no better person to find than John sitting next to me here today.
Acting Secretary Fliel Shongol, who was in office for 4 months, gave the newly appointed Secretary John Avira his assurance of working together and moving forward to serve the people of PNG.
And I am pleased to mention that with the new incoming Secretary, these are the partners that will help us to implement the policies that the Minister has just mentioned today.
Secretary Avira says he is looking forward to working with the Minister and staff of Communications and Energy.
I will endeavor to work with industry stakeholders. As we all know, communication is one of the key sectors that we need to put in place and enabling policies and also implement the target projects that government has in planning.
Minister Basil maintained that the appointment of Mr. Avira was done on merit.
We have a lot of delivery to do, and of course the announcement by government, the last year budget of 30 million, that will be to fund rural electrification, and I believe that my department will take charge of that.
Meanwhile, Minister Basil says with 13% of PNG's rural population now covered to access electricity, the commitments from USA, Japan, Australia and New Zealand to electrify 70% of PNG's rural population will be a priority this year. Godwin Eki, National MTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. Stay tuned for more stories after the break.
MAPEX Training Institute. Job-oriented certificate in plant operator and motor vehicle training courses includes mobile crane, excavator, light motor vehicles, semi-trailer, prime mover and many more. For school leavers grade 6, 8, 10s, 12s and the working class, enrollment is now open for January 27, 2019 intakes. For more information, call us on 323-2063 or email info@mapextraining.com.pg.
The IPI Group is PNG's most innovative, dynamic and diverse logistics company, totally focused on delivering outstanding service. Our diversified divisions span from major warehousing, bulk fuel and road transport to large-scale commercial catering. The IPI Group of companies will be your partner, supplying tailor-made logistics solutions.
Do not play with death when your family goes out to sea. Do not get on an overloaded dinghy, or if alcohol is being consumed. Do not get on a dinghy in bad weather, or if there is no extra Zoom or drinking water. Always wear a life jacket. Ensure your loved ones return safely when going out to sea. This message is brought to you by NMSA.
Bomb chicka wow wow. Bomb chicka wow wow. Bomb chicka wow wow. Wow wow.
We've improved the formula. New links with added.
Bomb chicka wow wow.
Welcome back to the news. Minister for Communication, Information and Energy, Sam Bassel, says the mobile phone SIM card registration exercise by NICTA has proven to be a success. He says while problems such as cybersecurity and high cost of services still remain, more will be done by service providers and NICTA to solve these issues for users to enjoy the services.
While SIM registration is still in progress by all service providers, Minister Bassel says that NICTA, in collaboration with Digicel, will announce later in the year the number of SIM cards registered since last year. According to Bassel, there are challenges on high cost of service fee, with plans to facilitate for 2 more new mobile phone companies to operate in the country.
And I believe that we have made significant progress towards the end of last year in making sure that most SIMs are being registered.
NICTA has also been consulted to look into tower sharing between 3 service providers in the country, and also to control the price of tower sharing should there be a new player.
We facilitate for another 1 or 2 more mobile companies to come and operate in Papua New Guinea so that we give competition to the current players. I understand that Telecom is finding it very hard to penetrate no more than 10%. They have been between 9 to 10%. So we believe that opening up the market, opening up the players, we will see more competition.
With the initial reason of SIM registration based on cyber security, Minister Bassel says tougher laws will be implemented by NICTA to deal with such matters.
We will come up with a stronger attention to this in order to make sure that we align our police department, we align our communication department, and of course strengthening some laws within our NICTA, the regulator.
While NICTA regulates the industry, Bassel is also concerned on how police personnel deal with cyber security in the country.
We would like NICTA to also slot in some training module for them to understand the cyber part of the world in terms of how to engage with the cyber laws when they do prosecution or when they receive complaints in the police station, because we are finding it hard for the policeman over the counter to process those information.
Godwin Eki, National MTV News.
Nawai MP Kennedy Wenge has questioned the delay of construction work on a police station at Bumayong and Morobe Province. Mr. Wenge said he has provided 100,000 kina funding in November last year, yet construction work is yet to begin. The 100,000 kina commitment was made during the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of this station. Ahi local level government president Sem Agi said a local contractor, Septitic Construction, was contracted for the job. He said apart from the MP's funding, former MP Gisuwat Sinuin also committed some funds for the same course during his time as MP.
La money go contractor so me look contractor na policeman run this place at me loan on this area commander. And to me ask him this for time. Now to me him by finish for 2 months now. Me wait on 2 months here, they no come back. Me find it finish. Now me wait long. Me by giving keep on house and by making keep on car long.
A small company in Lae is looking to improve waste disposal and sanitation by introducing fiberglass toilet seats into rural communities in Morobe. PNG Small Informal Business Clinic works out of the Hunter suburb. They hope to make more than 500 toilet seats this year.
PNG Small Informal Business Clinic was formerly known as Septimus Limited when it was located in Milne Bay Province. The business specializes in manufacturing fiberglass products such as these rural toilet seats. These are built in a temporary warehouse at the Hunter suburb of Lae.
We see that sanitation and health is a big problem.
They have been manufacturing toilet slabs for 11 years. The company aims to provide proper waste disposal and sanitation, especially in rural areas. Company's director, Haro Mitaharo, said the company has sold over 500 of these toilet seats in Milne Bay. Each of these is 1,500 kina due to the expenses of chemicals that are bought locally. However, Mr. Mitaharo said the price will drop if they start getting their chemicals overseas.
More or less it will cover a large span of population that this product will go into.
Mr. Mitaharo also said they see it as a need to go to other provinces to introduce these toilet slabs for a good waste disposal practice.
The product itself will last almost over 10 years.
Philia Piseb, National MTV News, Lae.
Trukai Sports is next. Don't go away.
Public awareness from IRC, payment due dates for goods and services tax, 21st of the month. Salary and wages tax, 7th of the month. Company income tax, 30 days after notice of assessment. Personal income tax, 30 days after notice of assessment. Stamp duty due on assessment are the withholding taxes on declaration.
Lodge appropriate tax return which is also due on the due date as the payment date. Payment methods include FPOS. All bank debit cards are accepted at FPOS terminals at our regional centers and provincial offices. Credit cards are not accepted. Bill pay. IRC biller name is Internal Revenue Commission, code 11628. EFT direct payment. Bank credit transfer application, bank check, bank draft. IRC is no longer accepting personal company check payments. You must include your TIN and name, tax being paid, tax period, payment date and amount, your electronic payment receipt. For more information on making tax payments or to obtain copies of your receipts, call 322-6548 or 322-6773 or visit www.irc.gov.pg.
This message is authorized by the Commissioner General, IRC.
In our harsh and vibrant landscape, Dulux Weather Shield is the perfect choice to protect your building against everything Mother Nature throws at it. Worth doing, worth Dulux.
Are you serious? Is this the fastest you can go? Get out of here. Internet speed with Telecom PNG. I repeat, Telecom PNG is the fastest. The fastest here in PNG. So connect today to experience the difference. Telecom PNG, always there.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Making a code switch in any sport poses many challenges. Most players who have made the switch to rugby league and eventually to the SPPNG Hunters have become successful. At the professional level, the most notable players include Butler Morris and the SPPNG Hunters, the late Kato Otio, who made the switch from volleyball to rugby league, both enjoying success. And now one player, Gairo Kapana, is likely to be the next successful code switcher.
Oh, missed tackle.
Speed. With his power and agility, time and time again, Gairo Kapana showed the world and Papua New Guinea that he is an impressive athlete that knows how to score points for his team.
Is Kapana. He was a hero yesterday, scored 2 tries against Russia.
Representing Papua New Guinea in overseas tournaments, including the HSBC 7th Circuit, Kapana wore the Puk Puk 7th jersey and quickly became a household name in PNG Rugby Union.
4th try. It's a rout.
For 3 years, the 22-year-old from Wairavanua village in Aroma Coast Central Province showed the world and Papua New Guinea Rugby Union fans his scintillating speed and athleticism. His build and height built for rugby union sevens. His rugby eye-catching, catchy enough to be caught and brought to the attention of rugby league scouts. Young Gairo Kapana is now itching ever closer to a SPPNG Hunters jersey. He made the switch to rugby league last year after the Commonwealth Games. He had a stint with the Egmak Rabal Gurias franchise, with the Hunters his ultimate goal.
After Commonwealth Games, I switched coach to TDCL Cup. Rugby league, go to TDCL Cup, and I went to rugby Gurias. I played 2 games, and last year, Hunters trainer squad, 60-man squad, I was in 60-man squad.
The young man was peaking in his rugby union career, but knew he had to make the switch while he was still in form.
3 years me representing PNG. Now me feeling was switch code, and me come this far. Feel like I'm the best, and my aim is become a Hunters this year.
His bursts of speed and build make him an explosive centre in the modern game and can be utilised in the forwards as well. He is not new to rugby league, with Gairo already stamping his mark as well in the shorter nines format of the game, with regular appearances in the Southern Region Nines team, Rovanama. Fidelis Sukina, National MTV Sports.
A memorandum of understanding was signed today between Cricket PNG and Coalition for Change. The MOU signed signifies the support by CPNG towards CFC in addressing the issue of gender-based violence, or GBV. Suli with the details.
Coalition for Change is a community-based advocacy group which aims to address issues of gender-based violence. The organization has been in partnership with CPNG for more than 2 years. CFC chairperson Lana Kami says with the MOU signed, they will continue to carry out awareness and hope for a better relationship and help and issues relating to GBV.
One of the best platforms in sport for us to be able to promote and become advocates and awareness with the promotions done that Cricket PNG that they take towards the schools. We find is also a very important leg for us because, if anything, education is key. We thank Cricket PNG for their support, and we look forward with this memorandum of understanding. We look forward to a very healthy relationship and very active relationship between the two.
Domestic violence in families.
Chairperson for CPNG, Ellen McIndoe, says Cricket PNG has been carrying out awareness in communities and running programs in schools on GBV. She says the players contracted are aware that GBV is not acceptable.
And in the last couple of years, we've certainly done a lot of work with awareness programs with our players, education through schools, and all our 40-plus contract players, it's in their contract that there is a clause regarding violence, and it has you know. So we are very proud to be associated with Coalition of Change.
CPNG CEO Greg Campbell says this program between Coalition for Change and Cricket PNG is a way forward for players in saying no to violence as well as an advocacy to new players.
It's a really important factor in Cricket PNG's upbringing of our youth, our men and women, and even our senior. All our staff are aware of the Coalition of Change and the obligations they have.
Both parties aim to continue this relationship in the future. Suli, National MTV Sports.
Shuka Sports will be back with more after the break. Stay tuned.
True Kai Sports.
No can time long pilai one time die. Time family belong you. E go other side long solwara. No can kalap long dingy where emi pull up pinis. Or kalap suppose only drink beer. No can kalap suppose whether e bagger up or no got extra zoom or wara belong drink is that. All get a time wear him life jacket. Sekim suppose one talk belong you e come back alright. Time only go other side long solwara. This fella talk sare e come long NMSA.
At IPI Catering, we understand the intricacies of the environments in which we work, providing innovative, fresh and creative catering solutions. Our experience and commitment is a winning combination, delivering great food anywhere and anytime. IPI Catering, part of the IPI group of companies.
MAPEX Training Institute.
Job-oriented certificate in diploma in business courses includes Human Resource Management, Business Management, Accounting, Information Technology, and many more. For school leavers, grade 10s, 12s, and the working class. Enrollment is now open for February 4, 2019 intakes. For more information, call us on 323-2063 or email info@mapextraining.com.pg.
Friday on Vital Signs. TrackMedics International used software they developed called Beacons to provide foundation for emergency response systems in places that they don't have them.
So this office is a control room where we receive calls from community.
Vital Signs, Friday 7:30 p.m. right here on your number one to watch, MTV.
I love the way you taste.
I love the easy meal.
I love family dinner time.
I love my true guy.
I love the quality. I love the yummy smell.
I love the energy and strength.
I love my true kind.
So many reasons, all of us agreeing. So put on your t-shirts and let's all sing.
I love my true guy.
I love my true guy.
I love my true kind.
Let's sing it again.
I love my true kind. I love my true kind. It's rice, the very best rice, 'cause we all love a true kind.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. It's been a horror off-season for NRL Rugby League with a raft of negative headlines creating headaches for the game's big bosses. Now it's being revealed the league chief executive is laying down the law in the hope of reining in his players. The move comes as teams get set to launch their pre-season countdown.
The most prolific of rugby league's summer scandals. But while Jared Hayne drew the most attention, he was far from the only horror headline in an off-season that's left officials red-faced.
I'm frustrated, I'm angry, and I'm embarrassed.
Hayne was one of 5 players to be charged by police for offences against women. Then there were leaked sex tapes, brawls, assault and drink driving cases. Enough to make the Bulldogs' embarrassing Mad Monday antics in September seem like a distant memory.
When you have issues like this off the field, they damage your reputation. There is absolutely no doubt about that.
A fed-up Greenberg's now attempting to bring to a halt some of that negative media coverage. He says he's made the club captains and CEOs dial in on a call where he's issued a stern directive.
Address every single one of your players, from the junior players right through to the top, and explain to them the standards that we set. Explain to them that damaging the game is also about damaging them individually. If you make a poor decision as a player, you put your livelihood at risk.
Greenberg says it's not an education issue.
There's absolutely no doubt that players know what's right and wrong. Our players get paid significantly and they get paid well. That's not just about how they play the game on the field, it's about how they conduct themselves off the field.
He's now warning of hefty punishments should players not take heed of his message.
And those consequences will get harder and our penalties will get stronger.
This the latest response in years of rugby league scandals, as the sport finds itself desperate to repair its reputation once again.
And that ends Trukai Sports. The weather details for the next 24 hours coming up next.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
Public awareness from IRC, payment due dates for goods and services tax 21st of the month. Salary and wages tax, 7th of the month. Company income tax, 30 days after notice of assessment. Personal income tax, 30 days after notice of assessment. Stamp duty, due on assessment, are the withholding taxes on declaration.
Lodge appropriate tax return which is also due on the due date as the payment date. Payment methods include FPOS. All bank debit cards are accepted at FPOS terminals at our regional centers and provincial offices. Credit cards are not accepted. Bill pay. IRC biller name is Internal Revenue Commission, code 11628. EFT direct payment. Bank credit transfer application, bank check, bank draft. IRC is no longer accepting personal company check payments. You must include your TIN and name, tax being paid, tax period, payment date and amount, your electronic payment receipt. For more information on making tax payments or to obtain copies of your receipts, call 322-6548 or 322-6773 or visit www.irc.gov.pg.
This message is authorized by the Commissioner General, IRC.
MAPEX Training Institute.
Job-oriented certificate in plant operator and motor vehicle training courses includes mobile crane, excavator, light motor vehicles, semi-trailer, prime mover, and many more. For school leavers grade 6, 8, 10th, 12th, and the working class, enrollment is now open for January 27, 2019 intakes. For more information, call us on 323-2063 or email info@mapextraining.com.pg.
In our harsh and vibrant landscape, Dulux Weather Shield is the perfect choice to protect your building against everything Mother Nature throws at it. Worth doing, worth Dulux.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
A quick look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow. In the southern region, showers in Port Moresby, Kirrama, Allentown, Popondetta, thundery showers in Daru. In the Mamasa region, a shower or two in Lae, Medang, Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, showers right across the region in Lorengau, Kavieng, Kokopora Bao, Kimbe, Buka, with a top temperature of 31 degrees. And in the Highlands region, showers and fog right across the region in Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And that's been the news, sport and weather for Tuesday, 22nd of January 2019. On behalf of the entire national MTV News team right around the country, pleasant viewing. Good night.
This news program was proudly brought to you by Paradise Foods and Paradise Beverages.